Before we start, I just wanted to highlight a quick moment that happened in the debate here.
Able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Biden is basically a potato. He's going, so like he's about to poop himself. He's rambling. A lot of his words are incoherent. He's like slurring his speech. So it's pretty obvious. We finally beat we finally beat Medicare. This basically encapsulates the debate. This face and that response summarizes Biden's performance. So now to the meat and potatoes. I want you guys to listen to how many times I caught in this debate him repeating this phrase. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys my editing software, the raw footage and the edited footage. So you know I'm not trying to pull any fast on you guys. It's going to be literal proof at the end.
The idea that he did something that was significant, the idea that states are able to, the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. The idea he's refusing to, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. The idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. For the idea that any black family, first-time home buyer should get a $10,000 tax credit. The idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. The idea that anything he said is true. I've passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history. The idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water. The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence. But the idea that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about pollution and about the idea that they're going to, I'm proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors. The idea that veterans are not being taken care of. I told you before. The idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country. The idea that we're talking about worse presidents. I wasn't joking. The idea that he is doing anything to deal with child care. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. The idea. I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done. The idea if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
I don't think anybody can make an excuse for what just happened, the last debate. The idea. Biden repeated that phrase over 28 times, and this is not to count all the times where he said it in the same sentence, as in saying, quote unquote, the idea, literally twice in one sentence. All right, so I just wanted to document something really quick. This is all I did in DaVinci, okay? I have my editing software pulled up, and I have the raw footage coming from OBS. So all I did was import the raw footage into OBS. It's going to be this right here. This is all I did. I transcribed the video. And I typed in, because I was like, why is Biden saying this so much? So I wanted to type in how many times he said it. So all I did was type in the idea. So as you can see, I pulled up the transcription that DaVinci did for me, blow it up a little bit. And it shows that it pulls up 31 times. So I went through each one and I was able to find that it was either It was a little bit less than 30 times because Trump said the idea maybe once, but all the other times was literally Biden saying it. So if you go through all the highlighted yellow parts that I did, it's just going to be him saying it over and over and over and over again. So I'm not doctoring the footage with any ill intent to deceive. This is literally just the raw footage that I put into DaVinci, and I use DaVinci's, artificial intelligent transcriber to just detect when that word or that phrase was said so that I can personally review it and cut it to where you see this is the raw footage. And if I zoom in, this is going to be the cut footage. This is the cut footage of him saying it over and over again. I have the markers that are here, and I edited the markers down each time here to where this is what it looks like in the timeline. I just wanted to show you guys that I'm not pulling any shenanigans or anything like that for any detractors. This is something that the puppet masters were definitely afraid to let the public see, because it shows you the raw data of what everybody knows is obvious. The elephant in the room is that Biden, the only thing he really cares about is like the next ice cream truck and whether or not his diapers are full. This just shows you the length to which people who want power will go to sustain the power. This guy is basically a Brussels sprout, and they allow him to be the figurehead of the head of state. He's a broken record, and this is pretty much a telltale sign. If you guys ever watch people age into cognitive decline, like I have, I've seen a grandparent of mine decline. This reminds me very much so of that. I listen to people who are senile at work all the time because I work with older people, and this is kind of how they start to sound. And I think that's the reason why CNN is trying to get ahead of the controversy, because they knew this all along, but now they're going to play with this narrative that, oh, we're just now finding out. They knew this guy was a potato probably since he first got elected. But now that he has to go against Trump and the comparison is so stark in contrast between somebody who's lively and coherent and cognitively aware versus somebody who's cognitively waning, now that this is live for everyone to see, they have to make sure that they clean this up. They have to get ahead of the controversy, because instead of ignoring it like they've been doing for the past 4 years, instead what they're going to do is, act surprised and act like, oh my gosh, this is what's going on, when they all knew. Everybody knew behind the scenes, all these CNN people knew, but what they now got the green light from whoever their puppet masters are is basically, okay, now we need to act appalled, now we need to act surprised, and now we need to act like we're having a genuine reaction to what we already knew, what we've been gaslighting the American public about. So now they're going to try and pull some shenanigans, I would assume, when it comes to who's going to actually be running against Trump. Because it can't be that obvious anymore. Do you think it's a good idea for anybody to vote for him, even though people hate Trump this much? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think I'm spot on with this commentary or analysis? Do you guys disagree? Do you think Biden, the fried okra, is fit enough to run the country, or do you think Trump will do a worse job? I'm interested to know what you guys think in the comments. All opinions are accepted. And thank you for watching.